best.
It's a Philly show, baby.
Philly
Let's go.
All right, welcome in to Swing It and Ding It. And you heard that voice right towards the end of that. We'll get into that because the great ESPN caddy, Michael Collins, turned into a golf trip for me halfway through the Eagles pregame party. But welcome into Swing It and Ding It. Moose, Mays, and Matthews on this post-Eagles Super Bowl victory, post-waste management. Yeah, but that was interesting. I went to the Eagles official pregame party at the stadium, and as I'm walking in, the great Michael Collins is walking out, and I have my green.
Leaving.
He was leaving.
Okay.
I guess he was going into the stadium really early, which I don't blame him. But I had my green Philly golf hat on. I said, Mike, it's Moose from Swing It and Ding It. Oh, Mike, so we had a couple minutes, took a picture, and then I walk in and, Stoutland's there.
Right.
And then Brownie.
Of course.
So it's like, man, it's like a golf event,
Literally.
It was a lot of fun seeing those guys.
And
there.
that hat is so good. Like Harry has it on now with the navy, but Moose has one with that bird's like green. It's good. It's a good hat.
Merch shot is coming. It's almost finalized. So
now, did Brownie have his security detail with him?
Not at the time I saw him, but sometimes they are in the shadows and you cannot see them, but they are there.
Because he played with Brett Quigley yesterday, I believe, at the Chubb Classic Pro-Am down in Naples.
That's what he said. He was headed. He was headed there because he was, I believe, questionable coming to the Super Bowl because of that. But he decided he had to be there. So awesome seeing those guys. Great being able to get a quick picture.
Living vicariously through all of your stories. Extreme FOMO. Moose had texted me like the day 24 hours before. He's like, "You sure you can't get out here?" And I was like, looking up flights. I was like, "Come on, can I make this happen?"
Now, how were the seats, Moose? Give us the lowdown. Like, how early? When you say Collins went in early, how early? And then when did you go in, and where were your seats?
He had to go in at 2.5 hours before. They do a really good job of getting people into these things, though. I was nervous even when I went out to the Phoenix. I'm like, "Oh, God, it's going to take us hours." They do a really good job of like making sure you go to your gate and getting people in the right way. I wanted to be in there at least an hour and a half before. I didn't want to take any chances.
Yeah, you want to soak it in too.
Soak it in, check out the stadium. But the Eagles pregame party was so good. I mean, I was on a straight muffaletta diet for 2 days.
Muffaletta.
Monday at brunch was the first time I realized I held a fork. Since I had been there, which was a lot of fun. Me and my buddy Tony had a great time. The Green Legion hooked us up. We stayed with them on their riverboat down on the river, which was awesome, and they had some great events. But yeah, I mean, and then I'm getting antsy. Like I'm talking to Dan Smith from Tito's, great sponsor of our golf outing and the Magical Mila Foundation. And but I'm getting antsy. I'm like, I need to get in there. Like, I'm not paying attention to these conversations. I'm like, I need to get in there. And then once we get in, I'll tell you what, the Superdome, they did an incredible job at that place. I don't know the renovations or how long, or once they found out they had the Super Bowl, but so we were on the suite level, not in a suite. We were in the corner. Maybe like the 10-yard line, right where Cooper DeJean ran that pick six back, right in our faces. It was they were perfect. There were some Chiefs fans around us, which very quickly
sleeping.
Very quickly there was not a second of joy in that game for them.
No, there shouldn't
at all.
There couldn't have been. So the Zach Bond pick had to be on your end
right
too,
there,
right?
and the AJ touchdown, like everything right there. It was awesome. But it's funny because the guy next to me, big guy, the Kansas City cheerleaders go out on the field and the Eagles fans start booing them. And he's like, you're going to boo the cheerleaders? I said, you don't understand the boo in Philadelphia. Yeah. I'm like, the boo has layers. It's not like a boo, we hate you. It's just that you're not with us.
Like, come on.
The boo is a comedic term for us. I'm like, you have to truly process the boo. He's like, all right, I'm getting it. I'm still not booing the cheerleaders, but I get it.
Suddenly, Moose, what about the Taylor Swift boo? Let's talk about that.
That was epic because she was actually she was 2 sections over in the suite behind me, so she was really close. But I'll tell you what, I think the boo that possibly won the Super Bowl was the A.J. Brown penalty in
Oh,
the in
that
the
was
first.
atrocious.
Yeah, that was
But I'll
mm,
tell you what,
not gonna
when
make you
that
bleep it out.
happened, the noise, the anger of us in that crowd, I think
Rightfully.
the city team and fans were like, holy crap, like
Yeah.
they're this nuts over that, like we're in trouble. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, I know it sounds so weird and like a simple little thing, but it just set the tone for the game that like we're on everything and
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna be loud and vocal. And it really set the tone, man. It was awesome.
When
Awesome.
you were
Ugh.
describing how the boo has layers to the
Yeah.
Kansas City fan, I'm
Yeah.
hearing Gargano in my headset like say that. That's something
Yeah.
he would like sort
Yeah.
of detail.
Yes.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so Philly. It's so Philly. But
Yeah,
I
it's a
gotta again
comedic
show
term. It's
Yeah.
not
yeah.
it's not a nasty negative thing. Half the time it's like, boo, you're not with us,
Boo.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But no,
That's
that Taylor
awesome.
Swift, I loved it because she like looks around. She's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, this isn't about you, honey. Okay.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But it
cool.
was I mean, kudos to the city of New Orleans.
No,
You
no.
know,
How was security there?
it was military grade.
Yeah.
As
That's
it
what I
I
would
should.
figured
say.
it had to be.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
after what they went through, and I went and visited the site and
I saw the
honestly
picture you put up.
got
Yeah.
got incredibly emotional. I'm in the hotel room before on the boat, and Marty Smith does the story about Tiger Beck. I'm sobbing in the hotel room, like trying to get dressed to go to the game. Like it was so emotional, and then to see that site where it happened, I mean, it hit me like a ton of bricks. So to see what that city was able to do, what they were able to pull off in that short of a turnaround time and make everyone feel safe, it was impressive. So kudos to the city of New Orleans. I mean, listen, they know how to handle large events
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
Sugar Bowl and Super Bowls and just
Mardi
Gras,
Gras, yeah.
which was
Yeah.
happening. It was tremendous. But we got the full treatment. The Green Legion had a bar right on Berber Street rented out, so we got the balcony,
Wow.
full balcony treatment.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, it was a 10 out of 10. Everything about it was just tremendous. But the weird thing to me was you're walking around the city and all you see is Eagles fans. I'm telling you, a smattering of
Sea of
red.
green.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, wow. I said the last game, it was like definitely 60-40, I think, Chiefs fans. I'm like, this is going to be 70-30 Eagles fans. But you walk into the stadium and boom, their whole half of the side is all. I'm like, did they just show up right
Where
at
did they
game time?
come
Like,
from?
where
Yeah.
were they? Like,
Again,
But-
another Phillyism, like the pregame, like,
yeah.
that's-
But then
I'm telling
once
you,
we
even-
started to take over, then you realized how much more there were.
Oh, really?
But they show up. Listen, you got to give them credit. But I don't know where they were all week because they just came. They just must
Trying
have
to
drove
stay
right
away
in for
from
the
you
game.
guys.
I think you're
I mean,
right.
it's what like down here, Harry. I've sent you guys photos. We have an Eagles bar down here,
Right.
and they had the Super Bowl already. They had reservations and the 20-person wait list. I had I had Birds gear on all weekend long. Everywhere you went, everyone go Birds, go Birds. I'm like, I'm in Jupiter, Florida, and
Yeah.
it's like we're everywhere. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you get to see any golf?
Not a second.
Really? Okay.
So you guys
You
are
know
going to be carrying the golf portion of it.
No,
Okay.
because I'm kind of with Moose. I saw at the end because we went to a friend's house party and we were outside in the putting green, chipping green, just messing around. And we looked up and we're like, Thomas Detry's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like,
Yeah.
we want to get in and watch this.
Did
Like,
he ever? The
Mhm.
waste management. Thomas Detry, first PGA Tour win in 68 starts, the first Belgian with a win, and he gets it in a 7-shot win after a 6-under 65 on Sunday. I mean, Harry, you were watching, and I'm sure what was going on with Detry? Was he just firing?
Yeah,
he
he just
birdied
put
the last 4 holes.
He just put the pedal down, man. We were talking about last week that back 9, those closing holes are drama incorporated. And he was just like, I'm having none of this, man, because I'm going to make birdie after birdie after birdie. And it was impressive. Birdieing 15 is not a big deal for those guys. But on 16, he walks into the cauldron, with 3 holes to go, and he hits it to 16 inches.
Yeah.
Okay. And in that environment
Stuffs
with
it.
all that stuffed on, he just exactly stuffed it and then makes the birdie. The place is going nuts. Then he walks over to 17th tee where things can come unraveled really quickly. They did for our man, Billy Horschel. He put it in the water twice on Thursday and Friday like a dope. But he goes to 17 and hits it short of the green and then makes a 21-foot putt for birdie. Just rolls it right in with authority. Then he goes to 18, hits it to 10 feet, rolls in the putt for a birdie. I mean, it was just like, holy crap, who is this guy?
Right.
And wins by 7.
Wow.
Wild.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Other top finishers, Kim and Berger tied for second at 17 under.
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth tied
Berger.
for fourth,
Berger
right?
sang,
He's
he's
trending.
coming.
He's
Yeah.
He's coming.
Of course, I took him at the Sony like
Yeah.
4 weeks early.
Harris, shout out to Harris. Thanks for the reminder. He's like, get your
And
picks
JT,
in.
Get the
right?
pick in.
JT's trend.
JT tied for sixth.
Yeah.
I had him last
Yeah.
week, so it was a decent pick.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's good to see
Yeah.
Michael Kim get in there, man. That guy's been nowhere for a
Yes.
while, and he played great. He got a chipping lesson from Joe Mayo the day before, I believe, on Wednesday. He put it up on his Instagram. I watched it that morning, and apparently it just, the lights went on, and he started, they showed him chipping on Saturday and Sunday. He's hitting it to like 2 feet, you know? He
Short
took a
game
lesson.
dialed.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
Emergency
Yeah.
lesson. We've all been there.
right.
911.
And
So-
Danielle, it seemed like the fans behaved for the most part, right? No major stories, no shutdowns, right? They had it figured out this year.
Yeah,
I mean, we weren't dealing with weather and all that other stuff, but
yeah, I mean, there was some excitement. I think Grillo's hole in one, he kind of just jarred it right in there. You
how about
saw
that
some-
thing?
That
Just
was-
a slam dunk.
The slow-mo
And it spun
replay, the
around.
ball
Oh
is
my
just
God.
swirling in
Yeah.
the cup. Like, yeah, that was cool.
That was awesome.
And then, of course, like you can look at any of the social and just see drunken idiots. But I'm sure, Moose, you saw enough of that this week that
Yeah.
you could
Yeah,
pretend that
I
you
had
were
my-
there
I
anyway.
had my fill. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh man, but that's it. You think about all these guys that have won in these early weeks. This European Ryder Cup team just keeps building and building, man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Doom, doom.
Uh-oh.
We need some drama
Telling
noise.
The boys
Watch
got to
out.
get it together.
watch
The
out.
boys got to get it together. But yeah, overall, pretty good fan behavior in
Mhm.
New Orleans, in Philadelphia, and in Phoenix. So great job, everybody. Way to
Yeah,
keep
way to
way to
behave.
keep your crap
Yeah.
together. We're proud of you.
Right.
Yeah.
We're really, really
Like,
proud
give
of you.
yourself a pat.
I don't know why in my mind, I guess it was because they did it when the Super Bowl was there. I thought the tournament was going to end Saturday. I don't know. I thought that they were changing it. I was all messed up. I was
That's
nuts.
okay.
Well, no, because even last year when it was in Phoenix, they were like, nah, like, it's, or was that last year or the year before?
Yeah, of any one to
Last year,
change,
yeah.
they changed the
They changed
one
the
with
one
the
at Torrey
playoff one.
Pines.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
why would you not change Super
Yeah.
Bowl weekend? But
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Well,
because
we're
there's
not running
there's
it,
two
so.
games on Championship Sunday.
yeah,
One that starts
yeah,
at 3
yeah.
o'clock,
and this
so
starts at 6, so they
Yeah.
figure. Yeah,
they'll
I get it.
done. If it, a lot of times it's gone to a playoff where it has a run
Yes.
to the start of the Super Bowl, but not this year.
Yeah,
But Detry was like, I want to get home and watch this stupid game."
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And Scotty shoots
Yeah.
31 front, 41 back for a 72
Mm-hmm.
to finish 25th place. You're worried with an injury like that. That's probably in the most important spot for a golfer is in
Mhm.
your hands. Is it going to take him a little bit longer to get back to his form?
Well, we were just talking about Berger. It took him wrist injury. He was out, 3-4 years, something like that.
well, he had
Sure.
back too. He had a back
Yep.
issue too.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then Jordan Spieth continually wrist.
Yeah, no, he played
Yeah.
great. He
Mhm.
looks like he might be back.
But
Yeah,
he's-
You know?
Yeah.
he was T2, I believe, or T.
Yeah,
Yep.
T4.
Four.
I believe.
Four.
Yeah, T4
Yeah.
with Bezaden out.
I'll tell you what, though, that gives me a
Bless
little
you.
bit of hope on a rider. If the Spieths and JTs can get back to form, that's a big help for Ryder Cup
JT's
because of the
getting there.
experience,
No
right? And
doubt.
Berger too. He's played in one and won.
No doubt.
So that is something to keep an eye on all year long. But yeah, great stuff out in Phoenix. And
Mhm.
Danielle, you want to spill some tea?
Why not?
Let's do it.
All right. Rory says Trump is, quote, not a fan of the live format. Tour pros
about
must get over hard feelings to reunify the game. So Rory was quoted saying Trump has direct access to PIF Governor Yasir. And he said, not many people have that. So,
And his boss.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
And his
yeah,
boss.
yeah.
So he said, not many people can say, I want you to get this deal done. I'm not going to do my Trump voice. And by the way, I'm speaking to your boss. So
Right.
we should see, Rory says, and we all know he can be influential. He loves the game of golf. And Rory actually, I think, played with him, his daughter, and then his granddaughter, Kai, a little bit ago. So he had access to him. And he said, I think whenever Trump says something, they listen. And I think that's a big thing. So we'll see. The new Live CEO said he is, quote, excited for possible PGA Tour deal. And Greg Norman is still involved, they said. But I mean, we've talked about this how many times? Like until we have some breaking. I just don't want to hear it until there's news. Like
Yeah.
it might be fun listening to the negotiations that Trump can present, but honestly, like I'm tired. There's no update until something's like signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah.
Don't bother.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's going to happen, and it's not necessarily because of Trump's involvement, but because there's a couple of these guys' contracts are coming up with Liv. DeChambeau and Koepka are two of them, and there's talk that they want back in on the PGA Tour. So that if they left Liv back for the PGA Tour, see you later, Liv.
But
so
what
I
is
think
that?
There's an
Is there
urgency now to get a deal.
Are there still, ramifications from their decision to leave the tour? I feel like maybe they could
There might be.
Yeah.
You
Because
know,
remember in the beginning, it was like, no, you have to, is it a ruler to the wrist, or is it like, no, you have to sit out for a year, or what is that?
They're not. No way they'll make them sit out for a year. There's no way. This isn't radio.
Yeah, but how would those exemptions be, and how would it be like getting into those fields? Like what, you just automatically can come back and knock out everybody else who has status? Because there's guys that are waiting to get into tournaments.
Yeah.
So there it has to be some type of organized fashion. You can't just be like, hey, Brooks, Bryson, come back in, and then like
I'm letting them in, right?
Well,
I'm opening up the velvet rope, and they're coming right in the club.
Yeah.
Except
Harry,
except Poulter, he could wait a little bit.
Yeah, Poulter stinks anyway now.
So
put him in a bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
But,
Max, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was wondering if you had any eyes on Liv last weekend. I actually watched a few, like 20 minutes of it each day, and apparently the ratings were
plummeted,
abysmal.
I don't think
12,000 people.
I saw something like that.
Did you see that? I mean, think about that, Moose. There's more people at the 16th hole on a Thursday.
Oh yeah, I have a note here. Like nearly a month into the new CEO's like tenure as Liv Golf CEO, the league's trajectory. What did it say? Opening week ratings were at an all-time low.
Yeah, and that was with Fox Sports 2 and Fox Sports 1.
Yeah.
That wasn't even the CW.
No.
Yeah. Weird times, but still.
Really? Yeah, it is. Yeah, the time difference was different. Yeah,
but if the product's diluted and it's just, you know what I mean? Like
they were playing under the lights. Did you like that? Did you see any of it? Because it was kind of weird.
I saw some clips, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that event they played in Florida with the mixed event, right near you, Danielle. When Lexi and all the
match at the park. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool. Well, staying on the topic, or not staying on the topic, but the Cliques unveil a $4,800 weekend bag. They partnered with Martin Key, which I guess is a high-end brand, to create I bet you AI wrote this, meticulously crafted weekend bag that embodies the spirit of both brands. Hey, are you buying a bag?
No, I got plenty of bags.
I got the Cliques hat at home. That's about
you
as far
do
as
have
I'm
the
going to go.
Cliques hat.
Yeah.
And Moose,
I could see you buying one of these, but it's not cool enough for you. If it was cool, you would buy it.
I mean, 4 aces, maybe I'd go, but I'm not.
No, the range goats I think is the coolest.
Yeah.
Like,
they just go duffel to range goats. They're not.
Yeah. They're like Harry was saying, he thinks that they may have implemented a pants only rule. We're not sure 100% on it, but he said everyone was wearing pants except the range goats rolled up, just rocking shorts.
They got mosquitoes where they were or something. I don't know.
It was Saudi Arabia. I don't know.
They're playing down Atlantic City in July. What the hell's going on?
Oh, you're not allowed to show leg in February. And
God, you saying that, I'm like getting PTSD from a event that was in Mexico, Tulum. Oh my
Tulum,
God. And because you're like walking in the jungle along the cart path, at one point I was like, I'm just going middle of the fairway. Like I could not keep the mosquitoes off of me. It was horrendous. I'll never return to Tulum ever again in my life. All right, more tea. Let's go. Max Homa on his struggles, quote, "It's not the clubs." Max Homa shut down the idea that his switch from Titleist to Cobra is not to blame for his slow start, calling it reductive to pin his struggles on equipment. Despite finishing T3 at last year's Masters, he admits he hasn't played well since, but insists that it's on him. Golf does not like me at the moment. So Homa's brutally on his take. He's blaming himself, not the equipment switch. What do you guys think? Is it a real challenge, or is this like an easy excuse for him? What do you think?
I mean, I'm glad he didn't take the bait.
Yeah.
You can't say that, right? Those guys
not at all. I mean, that's your
play with everything. But guess what? he's been somewhat streaky in his early career, right? He has his ups and downs, and then he gets hot and he goes on a run.
Right.
And
I think
I don't
that's
think
not
people
exclusive to him, but
Yeah, exactly. I don't think people understand golf. Like when you're hot, you're hot. When you're trending,
Yep.
you're trending. You deal with injuries, you deal with mental things, family life, everything. Like they
how
just
often
don't.
do we see these guys change putters, change grips, change
They
like
tinker
it's insane,
constantly.
right?
Yeah.
One little thing can throw you off for a couple months.
And he's been a guy that has kind of like struggled with his own inner confidence. That was actually the thing, when he finally broke through, it was like, oh wow, I'm good enough to be here. Like
He might have to talk
and
to
his
AJ
friends
and
like
read some
welcomed
Inner
him,
Excellence.
and
He might need a little copy of Inner Excellence, like AJ.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Max, home of results for 2025: the Century T26, Farmers Insurance, Withdrawal, AT&T, Pebble Beach Pro-Am T53, and then miscut this past weekend. So we'll see. Lucas Glover versus Colin Morikawa.
Real quick.
Yep.
Speaking of equipment, because I was going to talk about it after this, but I'm excited to talk to our guest next week, the great Johnny Wonder, one of the best names in golf, who they love talking to a lot of times before events. Longtime Callaway guy, who is now the director of equipment for golf.com and is kind of getting to explore a lot of different equipment. So excited to talk to Johnny next week and just talk about his history with that brand, some of the big players he's worked with, and where he's going now. So make sure you tune in next week. That should be a great episode.
Yeah, great name.
Awesome
And that's his real name too.
Yeah.
Wunder.
Wonder,
Yeah. All right, a little bit more of the tea. Lucas Glover versus Colin Morikawa and the aim point debate. So Lucas Glover wants the PGA Tour to ban aim point, as we talked about last week, calling it slow and ineffective. Colin Morikawa clapped back. Obviously, we all know he's a big aim point user, and he joked around saying, "If aim point goes, so should long putters, like Glover's broomstick." So Morikawa was insisting that aim point helps him, and he was arguing that slow play penalties, not green reading methods, are the real issue. And he suggests, like, again, I highlighted last week, publicly calling out slow players, just like the NBA does with technical fouls. So in the end, it was kind of just a little banter back and forth, fun, them throwing shade at each other. But it's like, I don't know. I like a little drama. I think it's fun.
It was funny though, Harry, because something he said made me think of you, because I don't think they realize they do it. JT drives me nuts with this too, how they start leaning in before the guy's done. And he said, he's like, sometimes I can't get in there fast enough to get to my read. It's like, yeah, because it's not your turn.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Chill.
Like, stop. Like,
relax.
If you're that worried about it's going to take you too long, then it's taking you too long.
And it's ineffective.
Right.
Yeah.
And Morikawa does it differently than anybody else I've ever seen, with the way he uses his hand in front of his face.
Yeah.
Like he does it kind of like this.
Like E.T.
really,
phone home.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. But
what happens if you have like big sausage link fingers? Do you?
I don't know.
Use less? Do you
it's like
use
read
more?
between the lines.
Measure your finger. I don't know.
Well, that's what he said. He's like, maybe people are just using it incorrectly and don't know how to use aim point properly.
Yeah.
Who knows? But, we have to mention it several times. We started the show with saying Super Bowl champions. So let's talk about some football. In the offseason, Saquon says, if I don't break 80 this offseason, I got to give up the game. So we'll see.
Well, it was
maybe
funny because remember when we had Britton Covey on the show?
Yep.
We were talking about golf, and afterwards I texted him. It's a shame because he got hurt like not too far after that. And I said, hey, let me know when we can get out, come over to my club. And he responded, cool. You mind if I bring Saquon with me? And I was like,
yeah, I mind.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, you can.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't get a chance to play with him because, Britt stopped playing. But I'm hoping maybe I'll be there. Maybe one of us will be there with Saquon when he breaks 80.
That's what I'm saying. Hopefully he's infiltrating the Philly courses and you guys just happen to see him.
They said that there were some people in the Gap area. I think Missinelli was talking about it. And Charles Barkley said he played like 50 courses last year. And he said every course he went to, they were like, oh, Saquon was here last week.
Right.
Yeah.
So he definitely
just called him a pro shop. Like, hey, can I get it? They're like, yes, sir. Whatever tea time you
imagine
want.
Imagine now he can do whatever he wants.
Gosh,
right.
Here you go. Whatever you want. And maybe a guy who got, an early start by a couple weeks. Josh Allen says he's addicted to golf. I found this story.
This.
It's incredible.
Yes.
Casey F. Bannon on X shared this. A quick story about this guy being Josh Allen. I played Sea Island with him last offseason and witnessed a sickness like I've never seen before. Played 18 in the morning. raced to UPS to sign a restructured contract. Another 18 in the afternoon. Hits balls until 1 a.m. On the King Cottage, they have a private range.
And lights.
Was back.
Yeah.
Yep. Was back on the range the next day at 7 a.m. Said his driver was, quote, too spinny, walked over to the performance center and did a driver fitting at 8 a.m., drove straight to a hoopy for 36 more. This guy has got the sickness. He's obsessed.
I love it.
Yeah.
He's obsessed.
I love to see it.
Yeah, and
It's
then went
so
on
good.
to say that he tipped all the staff, took really good care of everybody, and never once talked about football or himself.
What a
Love
guy.
that guy.
Go ahead,
What
Josh.
a guy. And then the last piece of tea that we have will just roll us right into the Genesis. There is a stacked field, but no Tiger.
Nope.
Yeah.
He was supposed to make his 2000, or he's supposed to make his, debut, but withdrew, and we'll see.
I'm getting a little tired of this, to be honest with you.
It's like the live talk.
His agency just puts out, blurbs to Golf Channel and gets, Rich Lerner and everybody all excited that they come out with the news. Tiger's going to tee it up at the Genesis. Only two days later, he puts out I'm just not ready. You weren't ready 2 days ago.
Harry, I'm in the same boat because I was sitting here like working, and B had on like Golf Channel, and they were saying like, oh, Tiger's looking good, this or that. And literally like 15 minutes later, it's like Tiger withdrew. I go, wait, time out. Weren't they just saying that he was dialed?
He did say that he's still not done processing the loss of his mom. Like it wasn't a performance thing. Like that, you got to give him a little bit of a pass there.
You know what? That's complete.
Okay.
I missed that. And
wasn't
I'm glad you
but to your point, Harry, like don't put it out, right?
Right.
Like, the ups and downs are tough, but
but that's smart because we just shared last week that happened and very unexpected. So there we go. We forget that these guys are humans and have some feelings and emotions too, right? They can't just be a robot.
Tiger's not human.
No.
He's Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods, yo.
Well, he may have been Tiger Woods. We don't know, but But the Genesis. We returned to the scene of the crime. This is strange.
Yeah,
it sucks not getting a look at Riviera. Let's face it, right? And it's 16 days ago. They were at Torrey Pines, and they're right back, Harry. So the course, of course. I mean, you done did the course, of course. I wanted to hear about Riviera. I love the way you explained it, but we are where we are.
Yeah, and this one though, they're only playing the South course like all weeks, and it's a very limited cut. It's like top 65 and ties, and anybody within 10 shots. So basically, practically everybody, if not everybody's going to make the cut. But La Jolla, California, par 72, 7,765 yards. It's a super long one of the longest ones they play all year long on the PGA Tour. William P. and William F. Bell designed this back in 1957. And Reese Jones came in and renovated it in 2019. The average green size, 5,000 square feet, 82 sand bunkers, one water hazard, and that's Devlin's Billabong, that little pond that sits just before the 18th green that can wreak havoc with guys trying to go for it in two when they need to make a birdie or an eagle. Poa annua greens, it seems like they've been playing Poa annua now for over a month. The fairways and rough are ryegrass overseed, and I've been told that the rough, since it's been raining all week out there, it's soaked. And they didn't get to cut the grass or the rough Tuesday or Wednesday. It's soaking wet, and they're not going to cut it the whole rest of the week. So you better find the fairways if you're going to have any hope of making a lot of birdies here. I don't know that the scores are going to be all that high. Fairways 24 to 47 yards wide. Torrey Pines and Muirfield Village, Jack's Place in Ohio, are the only two courses that they play that are 7,500 plus yards and 5,000 square foot greens. So this is tough. A lot of the architect buffs don't like this golf course because they say that if it wasn't on the coast of California, if you plopped it 30 miles inland, nobody'd even know about it. And they might be right. But the fact is, it is on the coast, and it's really super to watch a tournament here. So I'm looking forward to it.
It sure is. And that was the course, of course, brought to you by the Penn Club on 2nd in Conshohocken. Make sure you check them out. Still some February and March left to get in there and work on your game. And then, during the season, it's great to have a spot at nighttime. If you got the Josh Allen bug, you need to go hit balls at night.
Or if it gets super hot, during the day, it's super hot, you can, hit balls in air conditioning. And they've got 4-month memberships going right now. So, that you get 4 months, that gets you right into the prime playing season around here. So,
yep,
check it out.
No doubt. So let's see the line for this one. It's interesting. Harris English, who won,
Yeah,
16 days ago, he's got a big number. So
he does.
even in a top 5 at 1100, I'm gonna go that way. I could see Oberg winning this tournament at 2200. I have a weird feeling about Finau, and I like that 4000 number. And then I'm looking at Spieth in a top 5 at 650, Wyndham Clark in a top 10 at 400, and Berger in a top 10 at 450. Some guys that could hit the ball long, which helps. That could do well here.
Yeah, and you talk about Harris English. I mean, he not just the win a couple of weeks ago. He's had tremendous success every time he's played here in recent memory, including the latest U.S. Open a few years ago when Rahm won. I'm going to go Sungjae Im at plus 240 in a top 10. Morikawa, who's the number one choice among one and done pools, apparently. I'm going to go top 5 plus 260 for Colin. Hits it straight. Now, you're going to have to get it out there, too, because it's so wet. They're not going to get a lot of run. But he just finds so many fairways. That's going to set him up for a good week, in my view. And take 2 matchups. Mav McNeely, who's playing really well, minus 115 over Detry. I think the bounce back for Detry is going to be
T9 last week, Mav.
He
T9,
did. He did. He's trending, after that win he had at the RSM back in the fall. Sungjae, I'll take him over Fleetwood at minus 110 in a matchup. And the one and dones, I'm taking Taylor Pendrith from Canada. This guy pokes it out there. He plays really well. He has good history at this golf course, couple of top 10s in recent time, and he's plus 4,000 to win. I'm going to put him in at my one and done.
I like it. I actually went with Colin. I took Morikawa. Yeah. Yep. All right.
Yep.
Good stuff. Danielle had a hop. Back next week with Johnny Wonder. Looking forward to that episode and seeing how things go back at Torrey Pines with some of these guys. It's going to be a strange weekend in golf, but excited to next year hopefully to get back to Riviera because that's a tough one to miss.
It is.
It's kind of like there's a lot of points where it feels like the season's really kicking in, and this is always one of them. Yeah. So
that's one of my favorite venues that they go to each and every year. It's just
no doubt
such a great golf course.
Yep, no doubt. All right, Harry. Good stuff. We'll be back next week. Thanks for listening.